Woke up to my friend, 18F, having sex with me, 18M, but I'm not sure if it's assault. I'd if I should be asking. It's just a weird situation that I'm not comfortable talking with anyone I know. It keeps bugging me a lot when I think about it, so here it goes. Yesterday my friends came over to my apartment. I known them all since 10th grade, including her Samantha, not her real name. We watched movies, it got late, 2 of my friends and Samantha slept in the living room. Me and my roommate slept in our own rooms. In the morning is when it happened, cause there was already light coming out. I'm just gonna say I woke up feeling good. At first thought I'm only dreaming since it was a sex dream and those feel real sometimes. Then I'm actually feeling something heavy on me after a while. My brain's like wait, and then I wake up and she's on top of me riding me. Again for a second I'm wondering if I'm still sleeping. I don't get to say anything to because she's kissing me. Then she told me to be quiet and started moving faster. I'm still really confused, but then I came right after that. I'm still confused. It felt good but I didn't know that was happening. He got off from me. Samantha said she's wanted us to do that a long time, and sorry if she scared me from my sleep. Still I'm lying there like a dumbass trying to figure out WTF to do, and she gets her clothes to sneak back into the living room before anyone woke up, I guess. All day I'm thinking about this. I'm not sure how I should feel. TBH, I don't like her like that, so I didn't say yes to having sex, especially when I was knocked out. But after when I woke up with her riding me, it felt good enough that I came in her. So what does that mean? Does it mean I was fine with sex after all? I'm lost. She raped you. Unconscious people can't give consent. What if she gets pregnant? Report the rape ASAP! Exclamation mark. Maybe she is already pregnant and wants to guilt him into being the dad. She raped you. Weren't conscious, therefore you were unable to consent. This is absolutely assault. 100,000%. You have every right to press charges against her. This is unacceptable. There was no consent given, and I would be so fucking horrified if this happened to me. It has, but that's besides the point. I'm so sorry, man. This is awful. On another note, if it's a possibility for you, I would highly recommend seeing a therapist to talk to about this. You have rights to your own body, and this was 100% sexual assault. If you couldn't or didn't consent, you were sleeping so you couldn't and didn't, that is rape. Edit, typo. 1 week in and he's already shaved his head bald. Me, 24F, and my boyfriend, 26M, met on Hinge during the pandemic. Initially things were going well, the only issue was he never wanted to FaceTime. I was okay with this because I actually wanted to get to know him as a person. Eventually we met up and he looked good, so there wasn't a problem. He asked me to be his girlfriend on the first date. I said no, but eventually I gave in after a few dates and we became official. On a weekend away I noticed he didn't really have nice going out clothes. My boyfriend is an engineer, so money wasn't the issue. He said to me that this was because he didn't care much about appearances. I offered to pick out some outfits for him to buy so we can look good together when we both go out and want to make an effort. He was reluctant and I felt like I was forcing him, so I dropped it. Fast forward a week and he FaceTimed me to tell me he shaved his head bald. It looks awful, and together with his bad dress sense I feel is too much for our new relationship. I'm not shallow, I completely understand looks aren't everything, but is it bad to want someone to make an effort to look good for their new girlfriend? Should I leave, or is there a way around this? I like him as a person, but now I feel like I'm dating Caillou. Please be nice. Dating Caillou and crying LMFAO. Female engineer here. I'm the guy you're dating, but in a woman's body, or at least I was. Most days it's jean shorts / jeans and a t-shirt. I don't spend a ton of money on clothes because it was never something that I prioritized. That's probably because growing up I was awkward, heavy, and had very low self-esteem, and that continued long into college. Also, most of my clothes were hand-me-downs. People who've never felt attractive tend to try and not think about it. Going to a store is a chore because you hate how you look, and no amount of Gucci is going to make ugly ugly Betty look like Kim Kardashian and you've resigned yourself to it. Granted, I'm projecting here. I'm guessing he isn't paralyzed by self-hatred like I was, but he also probably doesn't think he's very attractive either, so why bother? That's some self-esteem work he's gotta do if he cares to do it. I spent years working on my self-esteem and body positivity, so now I shop for clothes for special occasions and it isn't a chore. I don't feel ugly. I try for myself and my partner and I know he appreciates it. It's up to you, sis. This is a fresh relationship. You don't need to give any reason. As someone who was on both sides of this situation, it can be one of those things in a relationship that seems small but means more. Think dying by 1,000 cuts. Is he going to put up a fight when you guys go out for a friend's birthday at a nice restaurant? If he's your date to a wedding, meeting your parents, occasional date night at a fancy restaurant, it's hard to care for someone if they can't care about themselves. What you are dealing with here is a classic engineer personality. I live in an area that is a sea of single engineers, Huntsville, woo. I would bet money that the shaved head came from a moment where he realized that he could save $5 per month on shampoo and not have to worry about brushing his hair. To him, this is likely a double win. To you, it is not. There are many perks to dating an engineer, but keen fashion sense and desire to dazzle are not generally among them. If you are not into that, it's okay, but it might be time to move on. You've reminded me of the old joke about engineers. I'm an engineer myself. One day, an engineer is coming into work when he sees his mate coming in on a new bike, and he says, "Where'd you get that bike?" His mate says, "Well, the darndest thing happened today. I was walking through the park when this woman came by on a bike, took all her clothes off, and said, 'Take whatever you want.'" The first engineer considered this for a moment and then said, "Good choice, the clothes probably wouldn't have fit you." Looks aren't everything, but you still need to be attracted to him. You're only 1 week in, so it's not like you're at the deep love stage. If you don't find him attractive, then you need to tell him and take it from there. My boyfriend has stopped being intimate with me. My boyfriend and I have been together for a little over 4 years. He is 33 and I am 23. We met at work and it was instant fireworks. Fast forward 4 years later, he doesn't seem to want to kiss, hold hands, or have sex. He has also stopped saying "I love you." He basically would rather jerk off to strangers than be intimate with me. It has basically turned my life upside down. I have had to initiate countless conversations of how much this lack of intimacy has been adversely affecting me. The crazy part is he talks about how this is the best relationship he's ever been in because his past relationships were tumultuous and filled with constant fights. I wonder why. I know what I need to do. Continuing this relationship basically means devaluing and neglecting myself. It's just so heartbreaking to basically watch someone you love stop loving you. I've never been in so much pain and needed to get this off my chest. Any feedback is appreciated. There was a 10-year age gap when you started dating. It wasn't about instant fireworks. It was about you fit his fantasies/his type. Your attempts to communicate your issues haven't worked because he's not interested in changing. Look for a new place to live and go on with your life. Exactly. This is precisely why me, and the majority of this sub, constantly warn people about huge age gaps. You don't see the manipulation and how creepy it is until it's already far too late and you're too deep in. At least Top isn't defending him and telling us how wonderful he usually is. You aged out. Only kinda joking. No, I think this is probably pretty on the nose. If you've talked to him and he isn't changing, then I think it's time for you to move on. For your own good. I think it was less fireworks on his end and more I landed a teen fresh out of high school. When I'm pushing 30, I must be a real stud. If there's no emotional or physical intimacy and he keeps brushing you off, it's time to consider leaving. You know why guys like him date teenagers and why his past relationships sucked? Because women his own age won't put up with his BS. Bluntly put, you're too old and mature for him now. The age gap isn't bothersome. It's the age at which he accosted you which is a problem. That man was pushing 30, preying on a 19-year-old. Leave that creep alone and pursue a more fulfilling relationship with yourself. The right person will come to you.